Good morning. Today's lesson is percent, pages 254 and 255. Let's start together. The word of percent and the sign of the percent, I think that most of you see it before, but I want to explain for you mathematically what does mean. The meaning of the percent that it's a ratio or a comparison of a number with 100. Let's remember what means ratio. On the ratio, I told you before that we're comparing two numbers or two quantities together. Like what? For example, I'm reading 10 pages on each 7 minutes, for example. So I'm comparing 10 to 7. Yes, 10 pages to 7 minutes. This is a ratio. For the percent, it's also like the ratio, but always the second number of it or the denominator is 100. Let me tell you more about it. Can you see this picture? This picture, I think that all of you can see it if you're downloading your games, downloading any program, yes? What will happen while you're downloading? This picture will appear for you and you will start to see 30% downloaded, 60% downloaded, and so on. And you're waiting for what? You're waiting until it reach what? 100% download. Why? What does mean? It means that the time until the download finish, this time I will divide it into 100 parts. When I tell you 30% download, it means 30 parts of the 100 are finished, are done. When I say 60% download, it means 60 parts from the 100 are done. So I'm comparing a part which is finished to what? To 100. That's why I call it percent, because I told you the percent mean the second number always is 100. I'm comparing a number to 100. Let's see another one. For example here, this shape we call it 10 by 10 grid because I have 10 column by 10 rows grid. So it gave me a total which is 100. For example, the first one, the blue. Can you tell me how many blue here colored out of this 100? If you count them, you will find that you have 50 squares colored out of 100. So if I write 50 over 100, it's a ratio, yes? 50 to 100. And I said before that I can write it in the fraction form. So once you see 100 down, you can call it percent. So here 50% are colored. So again, if you have a ratio and I write it here in a fraction form, the number down, if it's 100, it means it's percent. I can remove the 100, replace it with this sign. So instead of writing 50 over 100, I can write 50, then the symbol of the percent. Let's see the other one. Here, how many colored on this shape? If you count, you will find that they are 75 colored out of 100. So 75 to 100. Can I write it as percent? Yes, I can. What does mean? I can remove the 100, just write 75%. Once you put for me this sign, the percent sign, it means 75 out of what? Can be out of 50? Can be out of 70? Out of 90? No. Any percent, it means it's out of 100. So 75 out of 100. So for example, can you do with me this one? Let's make it together. Here I want to know the percentage of the colored part. So the first step, I will count how many colored. Here I have the first part, this in all 10. No need to count one by one. Then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We have 16 colored out of what? We know that this shape has 100. So 16 out of 100. This ratio, is it a percent? Yes, it's a percent because I have a denominator 100. Can I write it as a percent form? Yes, what you should do, the percent, it means just take the numerator, which is 16, put the sign of the percent beside it, so 16%. So what is the meaning of 16%? Directly when I find the percent symbol, it means 16 out of 100. Another one, For example, this one here, how many colored with the purple? I have two lines, so I have 20. I want to write it directly, 20%. Why I write 20%? It means 20 colored from the 100. So it's 20%. The next one, here I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So it's 50 out of 100. I can write it as a percent, 50%, and so on if you have 10 by 10 grid. So we said now that if I have 15 over 100, let me get the pencil, 15 over 100 is the same like what? 15%. Here's more examples also. 10% means what? Means 10 out of 100. 25% means 25 out of 100. 75% means 75 out of 100. So if I have the fraction form, I can make it into the percent form. If I have the percent form, I can make it to the fraction form by putting 100 down. Okay, so we can convert from this one to the other one. Let's see now another thing. When you're going to the mall and you find a dress, this dress you want to buy it, but you find that the shop on this day they did an offer which is 25% off. It means they will remove from the price 25%. What does mean? Is it mean that they will remove $25? No, 25% of the price. It means if I cut my price to 100 parts, I will remove 25 parts of it. Okay, we understand it, but how can we get the answer? So here, what is the price of the dress? It's $60. I want to get what is the meaning of 25% of the $60? 25% from the $60 are equal what? I know 25 from the 100. Yes, but 25% of the 60, how to make it? Let me tell you. Here we can use the proportions that we explained before, the equivalent ratios that we explained before, because here I have equivalent ratios. Where are the equivalent ratios? 25 as a fraction, 25%, it means 25 out of 100. I want to know, it's what from the 60, not from the 100, from the $60, from the price of my dress. So 25 from the 100 will be equal to what? From the 60, from my total that I want. Okay, to get this part of my total, how can I make it? We took before cross multiplication. So the two diagonal numbers, 25 multiply by 60, then divide by 100. Okay, so it will be 25 multiply 60, then divide by 100. Before I do this one, can I make it more simple to be more easy? Yes, we can. 25 over 100 equals what? From the 60. Okay, we said before that any fraction I can simplify the numerator with the denominator. How can we simplify them? By dividing up and down by the same number. At any case, while you're solving anything in the fraction form, you can simplify it. So 25 over 100, it means what? Divide by 25, 1, divide by 25, 4. So it means 1 over 4. Let's make the cross multiplication. 1 times 60 give me 60. Then 60 divide it by 4. Let's make the division. 60 divided by 4 will give me 1. 4 subtract 2, put down the 0. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20, so we're done. So the answer is 15. So here my answer will be 25% of the price of the 60, it means $15. So they will cut from the price $15. So you will not pay $60. No. Remove from it the $15, the 25% off. Let's see another examples. How to get, again, let me explain the same idea. Percent of a number. How to get it? What is the 35% of 80? So 35 percentage mean 35 over 100 equals to what? Over 80. My total is 80. I want to find the 35% of the 80. So I want to know the parts from the 80 that can give me 35%. How to get it? I will get equivalent fraction, which is equal to 35 over 100. So I will make a cross multiplication to get the missing number. So here I should multiply 35 by 80, then divide by 100 to get the missing one. Before I start this one, this fraction can be simplified? Yes, we can. If I divide here by 5 will give me 7. Here if I divide by 5, it will give me 20. To be more easy for me the numbers, so now I have smaller numbers. Let's do now the cross multiplication. 7 multiplied by 80. Put down the 0. Then 7 times 8 is 56. Then the 560 divided by 20. Let's make it here. How to divide by 20? If I have 3 0 in the dividend, 3 0 on the divisor, we can cross them together. So now 5 divided by 2 gives me 2. 2 multiplied 2 is 4. Subtract 1. Then put down the 6. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Multiply it 16. So the answer is 28. So 35% of 80, it means 28. Now let's see the questions in your book. Write the percent shown in the model. Here it's very easy because already the grade is 100, so just I want to know how many colored from the 100. So let me count. Question number 1. Here I will count by 10, 10, 20, 30. So here it's 30%. 30 over 100, it means 30%. Number 2, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Then what? 61, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 65%. Why here I'm doing directly? Because already my grade is 100. So they are 65 from the 100. No need to get equivalent ratios. I'm getting equivalent ratio if I want to know it's what from another number, not from 100. Now let's do question number 7. Compare, use less than or greater than. To compare it means I have to solve the two sides, then we will compare the two answers. Let's see number 7. 50% of 30. What does mean? 50%, I will write it as a fraction. 50% and 50 over 100 equals what? Of 30. This is the way. So 50% of 30, it means 50 over 100. This is the 50%. It's equal to how many parts from the total, which is 30. Okay, so here we have cross multiplication to find the missing number. So I will multiply 50 multiply 30, then divide by 100. But before it, I told you, if your fraction can be simplified, you will simplify. So 50 and 100 can be simplified. Yes, divide by 51, divide by 52. So now 1 times the 30 is 30 divided by 2 will give me 15. So 50 out of 100 is the same like 15 out of the 30, because 15 is the half also of the 30. So here it's 15, the first part. Let's see the second part here, 40% of 30. 40% in 40 over 100 equals what from the 30? Cross multiplication. 30 multiply 40 divide by 100, but before it we can simplify. How can I simplify the 40 and the 100? For example, if here I divide by 20, I will get 2. Here divide by 20, I will get 5. Now it's easier. 2 times 30 will give 60. Then 60 divide by 5 will give 12. So the answer is 12. So which one is greater? This one. After we got the answer, I want you to watch the same question again. Here, if I took 50%, 50 parts from the 100, okay, and I want also the 30, if I cut it to 100 parts, took 50 of it, will be greater, or the 30, I cut it also to 100 parts and took 40 of it? Sure, the 50%. So this one can be done mentally without making the answer. I showed to you how to answer if you want to make it by steps. But if I'm comparing the percent of the same number, so sure, while the percent getting bigger, so my answer will get bigger. Yes, as the example of the downloading. When download 90%, 20%, 60%, which one is greater? Sure, the 90%. Yes, so 50% of 30 and 40% of 30 also. I will watch the percentage just and compare. Let's see here. Question number 8. 10% of 60 and 10% of 10. First, let's try to make it mentally, because here I have 10% and here 10% also. If the 60 I cut it to 100 and took 10 parts of it, will be greater, or the 10 I cut it to 100 and took 10% of it? Which one will be greater? I want you to think, and I will show you also how to make it with the steps. Let me show you how with the steps, and I want you to think that this one also you can make it mentally. 10% of 60, it means 10 over 100 equals what? Over 60. Cross multiplication, but before it simplify, divide by 10, 1, divide by 10, 10. So do the cross multiplication now. 1 times 60 is 60, divide by 10 will give me 6. And the other one will be 10% of 10, so 10 out of 100 equal what? Over 10. Let's make the cross multiplication, but before it simplify, divide by 10, 1, divide by 10, 10. 1 times 10 is 10, divide by 10 will give me 1. Which one is greater? The 6. Sure, when I cut the 60 to 100 parts and take of it 10%, will be greater than cutting the 10 into also 100 parts and take 10 also of it. So 6 will be greater than the 1. So the 10% of 60 greater than the 10% of 10. Now write the percent for each ratio. Once you have the denominator 100, so it's very easy. You can take the numerator, just put the sign or the symbol of the percent. So 73 over 100, it means 73%. 9 over 100, 9%. Number 11, 25 to 100, 25%. Why I'm doing it directly? Because here just comparing 25 to the 100. So it's ready. No need to do any steps on it. Just make it in the percent form. And so on. 14 to 100, it means 14%. Let's see the problem solving and the last part. Number 16. Dawn has had 100 at-bats this year for her softball team. She had 34 hits. How many squares would she shade on a 10 by 10 grid to show the percent of her at-bats that resulted in hits? So she had 100 at-bats, okay? And she did how many hits? 34. So to shade it, to make it as a percent, already I have 34 of 100 or out of 100. So how many I need to shade? 34. So the percent here is 34% and we will shade 34 squares in the 10 by 10 grid. Number 17. Malachi collects 50 rocks. 10 rocks are smooth. He draws the diagram shown and says the ratio of smooth rocks to all rocks is 10 to 100. So it's 10% of his rocks are smooth. Describe Malachi's error. I want you to see the diagram here. And Malachi, she collect what? 50 rocks. 10 are smooth. So 10 are smooth. 10 out of what? 10 out of 50. The total is 50. So 10 from the 50 are smooth. 10 out of 50, is it the same or equal to 10 to 100? Here these two ratios are the same because she said that 10 to 100. Is it correct 10 to 100? No, how come 10 over 50 will be the same as 10 to 100? 10 to 50 is like what to 100? Like 20 to 100. If I multiply up by 2, it means I have to multiply down by 2. Yes, so what is the percent here? 10 out of 50 equals what? We said 20 to 100, so 20%. So again, let me erase for you all of this. So 10 out of 50, how to get the percent of it? Will be what? Out of 100. Yes, if you did the cross multiplication, you will get the missing number is 20. But you can use the cross multiplication or it is the same like the fraction. If you want to check what we multiplied here and do the same up, it's okay also. The two ways are correct. So the error here that she said it's 10% of the rocks are smooth while they are 20%, not 10%. Thank you so much.